Hey everyone, welcome. Happy Tuesday. I am always so excited to be here with you guys on Tuesdays. So welcome. I've had a pretty, I'll say interesting week. I don't know how to describe it, but we'll kind of go through my week this week, what's been happening, a couple of videos I've done this week. We can chat about them as well. I really don't have much beyond that on my agenda tonight, so if you guys have any questions, please get them in there, and I will try to answer as many as I possibly can while I'm here with you guys tonight. I have my Dr. Pepper, so I am ready to go. I'm caffeined up, so let's get into it. So before we even start, if you guys haven't checked out Solo, man, go check them out. The app is absolutely fantastic. The link is in the description of this video. You get $10 just for downloading the app, signing up, and linking just one account. And man, it does so many cool things. It auto tracks your miles. It helps you with taxes. It tracks your expenses. So when tax season comes, you are good to go. So if you guys haven't checked them out, go and check them out. Yeah, relax on the Dr. Pepper. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's like my only vice in life. So Dr. Pepper is literally the only vice in life. I maybe have one glass of wine a week. Maybe I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't do drugs. I'm a pretty boring. I don't do coffee. I'm a boring person. But soda, to answer your question, it's not available in your market. That's a very big misconception. Solo is available everywhere for everybody in the United States. It's just that the price match is not available everywhere, but you can still get their miles tracker. You can still use their expense tracker. You can do all that. So Dasher Benji, you're no coffee too? Yeah, no coffee. I've never been a coffee drinker, not even flavored coffees. I'll do a hot chocolate, but yeah, I've never been in it. And I always get made fun of when I worked in retail because I felt like everybody in retail drinks coffee, and I was like odd man out when it came to coffee breaks. I'm like, well, I'm not taking coffee break because I don't drink coffee. But yeah, totally not a coffee person. Get my caffeine from soda or Dr. Pepper, or Coke is kind of my second choice. But anyway, if you haven't checked out Solo, go check them out. They're absolutely fantastic. And you get $10. So bonus for you guys for getting $10. Hey, Gary, how are you? So let me just quickly say hello to everybody, and we're going to get into my week. So Bohemian Monkey, how are you? Josh, what's going on? Steve, I saw you here. Welcome. Dasher Benji, welcome. Thomas, what's going on? Pork Chop, how are you? Bud Soda, hey Pete, how are you? Page Drive, Sarah Sue, how are you? Stacy, what's going on? And I think did I get through everybody else? I think I got through everybody else. Steve, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. I wish, I can only wish for that Dr. Pepper sponsorship. Maybe one day. It'll be a hope and a dream at some point. I don't do Red Bull. I guess it's natural energy. Some days I wake up in the morning, I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna get through the day, and then I actually get myself some Dr. Pepper, and I'm like, okay, I can do this today. But yeah, no Red Bull. But I am hyper a lot, so I don't know where it comes from. I feel like how old is my daughter? My daughter is 6, so I feel like I haven't gotten sleep in 6 years. So if you ever see the bags under my eyes, that's usually the reason why. Oh man. Anyway, so welcome. So my week was kind of boring for the most part. It really was uneventful. It was almost an all DoorDash week. I did do a spark here or there I was really curious, and we'll get into that tonight, whether the rumors were true about Shop and Delivers. I personally haven't seen that in my market yet, but once again, I only turned it on maybe 3 times last week, so I'm just curious. So if you guys didn't see the video that I posted this past week, there's a rumor going around, and some people are already saying that it's true in their markets, but there's a rumor going around that express deliveries are going to, hey, Cherry Pick, thank you so much. Express deliveries are now going to be put on the Spark Driver for Shop and Pays. So supposedly we're going to be seeing a lot more Shop and Pays in here. So I don't know. So you guys are gonna have to tell me. Have you guys seen it in your area yet? Put in the chat right now if you are starting to see it. Thank you very much, Terry. I really appreciate it. So do you heard in March? Like I said, I haven't seen it yet, but you know what? March is tomorrow. I don't know whether it's like the first of the week, the end of March. Some people were leaving in the comments that it actually started the end of February for them already. I'm just curious. I think another person commenting that their Walmart was going through construction and they were testing to see if they were going to put all shop and delivers under Spark drivers and not use their employees for picking orders any longer, and they were going to see whether it worked in their market. So I don't know. Have you guys seen an increase in shop and delivers? Let me know. Nobody? Anybody do Spark last week? Like I said, I didn't see it. The two that I actually did were actually curbside pickup, and the only reason why I did them is they were 30 plus orders. So one was 5 miles, one I think was like 6 miles total. And what's Spark? You're funny, Josh. And they were really pretty easy, and it was early in the morning, so I was in and out, and I got it done before I actually started my DoorDash for the lunch rush. So for you, Benji, nothing worth even considering on Spark. Like I said, the reason why I did it is because the two orders that I got were over $30. I'm like, okay, I'll bite $30. I'll take it. So I traveled over to Walmart. Like I said, my Walmart is 10 miles away, so I always have to tack that on a lot to the pricing that I see on my Walmart if I'm not already over there. So it really has to be well worth my travel over there to see if it's worth taking. Okay, so Tracy, you've seen an increased shopping orders, but don't do them. I only do curbside to finish incentives. Then go on to something else. Well, that's actually, well, it's good to see that you're seeing them. Yeah, so interesting. Yes, Josh, 8 days until my birthday. Shh, don't tell. No, I'm just kidding. I don't care. I feel like age is just another number. I'm not ashamed to say how old I am going to be. Sorry. Bear with me for 1 second, guys. Okay. Yeah, in 8 days, I will be turning whopping age of 44. Here it comes. I think it's next. Is it next Wednesday? I don't even know what day of the week it is. But yes. Josh, I know I said I would say I was going to be Top Dasher or not. I have a community post ready to go, so hold off on that. I will actually let you know tomorrow as we all, or I should say, as everybody who is waiting for a Top Dasher is going to be a Top Dasher tomorrow. So I will let you guys know tomorrow. For my members, I will let you guys know before I release it to everybody else. But yes, I will let you guys know tomorrow if I decided to go for Top Dasher or not. Last week I was going literally back and forth. I'm like, I don't know. Do I want to do that climb and go through the aches and pains? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. So stay tuned for my decision tomorrow. That's funny. So anyway, so that was Spark last week. So it should be interesting going forward and whether Spark becomes more shop and delivers. I personally love shop and delivers on Spark. I look for those orders, so if I see more coming through, I feel like I'll be more inclined to do more Spark than what I currently do. I feel like Spark is a really good app for me to like start off my day if there's something worth going in or doing before my morning starts with DoorDash. And sometimes you have to be on DoorDash by like 10:30 to get some of those catering orders. So that's kind of usually when I cut off Spark for the morning. Do I have Earn by Time? I do not have any of those programs right now in my area. I do not have Earn by Time. I don't have the Diamond program. I don't have priority orders. Literally the only thing, knock on wood, right now I have in my market is Top Dasher and Large Order program and Pizza Bag program. But yeah, no, I do not have any of those programs. I don't know. I'm saying this loosely, kind of as a joke. I'm living vicariously through a lot of your comments and your content out there on how it's going and what's going on with the programs. Hey, Econ Mom. Hey, Ceci, how are you? Yeah. So that's Spark in a nutshell for last week. Also, this past week, I what I've been finding, I've been giving you guys as soon as it comes in, with shop and delivers with DoorDash. I've been noticing that they're only putting in miles from the time you get to the grocery store and to deliver it to the customer's house. They're not including the miles that you're driving from when you receive it. So you guys are going to have to let me know if you guys are seeing that in your market. I just felt like it was just another DoorDash test. I haven't gotten a shop and pay in DoorDash in a couple of days, so I don't know where I am in New Jersey, Dasher Benji. So yeah. Good old Garden State. But yeah, I'm in New Jersey. Thomas, thank you. The Top Dasher program. Yeah, still doing good, I see. Yeah, I was Top Dasher for October, November, and December. And then I personally thought December was going to be busy enough that I didn't need Top Dasher, so I didn't do it in December and I didn't do it in January. And stay tuned, and February, but stay tuned if I'll be in March. But I don't know whether it makes a difference or not. Like I said, January. I just feel like I feel like you can't compare it just because January was just rough all around, and I think a lot of you guys were saying the same thing. So I feel like I can't compare January, but February I was still doing $1,500 weeks just on DoorDash. So I feel as though it was good regardless of whether I was Top Dasher or not Top Dasher. So I keep going back and forth, which I guess is why I was so indecisive going into it. So anyway, going back to shop and delivers, have you guys noticed the miles? Have you guys seen this? Have you guys seen any other tests that are going on with DoorDash? I feel like a lot of times they like sneak them in, and if you're not really paying close attention, I feel like with the shop and delivers, I'm like, oh, that was sneaky. That was sneaky, DoorDash. And that's exactly what happened. If you weren't paying attention and you weren't paying attention to miles and you're used to seeing, total miles, it's definitely something that you kind of need to pay attention to a lot with DoorDash. Josh, that's funny. Last week was the first week I worked more than 4 days. Well, good for you, my friend. Good for you. I know you're going to Atlantic City soon, right? I think at the end of the month. Christopher Taylor keeps sending me pictures this week from his cruise, and I have to tell, I know he's probably not going to be here today because he's on the cruise, but man, he's making me jealous by some of those Caribbean pictures he's been sending me. I swear that's what he's there. He's trying to make me jealous, but it seems like he's having a really good time out on his cruise. Hey, Monica, how are you? But wow, only worked 4 days. Good for you. Oh, interesting. Good for you, Josh. So then I also talked about combating the gray map. I feel like it's so relative to what we're seeing if you're not a tap dasher and you're used to seeing the gray map. I know my biggest frustration with DoorDash a lot of times, well, it was until I started scheduling differently, is I was so frustrated when DoorDash randomly kicks you off of your pause or you're multi-apping and you already paused twice. Let me know if this has happened to you. You kind of already paused twice and then you go pause again and then it automatically ends your dash and you're like, darn it. Yeah, I was not, I'm not a happy camper. So that's when I actually learned with DoorDash to schedule in hour, sometimes 2 hour increments. That way I know there's a dash shortly behind my current dash and I can, get right back on. So I just thought it was kind of fun to, give some insight into the gray map because I'm like, if I'm this frustrated with the gray map, there has to be other people out in the world that is just as frustrated with the gray map as I am. And I used to be in an area that my map was red, pink, busy, very busy all the time. I never had to schedule until like this past couple months. It started probably around the summertime, and then you just can't, you can't get on. I don't know. I don't know whether DoorDash changed it or, a lot more drivers came into my market. I don't know. But man, I miss the days that I was just able to not schedule and just hit dash now kind of whenever I want because my area was always busy. Yes, I do. Thank you to Gary. Yes, I do. I am testing. I'm beta testing for Gary, the app for the iPhone. As you guys all know, I have iPhone, not Android, and I absolutely love it. It is it's amazing. So if you guys don't have the app, Gary put Gary'sApps.com in the comment section and go check out Maximo. Go check out the app. They are really there it's really there to help drivers and really makes an impact with sorting through a lot of the orders that come through on DoorDash. So yes, I love using DUH. I love using it. So what's Gary's? That's really, really Josh. Don't listen to him, Gary. Just saying. Oh, your area is red well during the busy hours. See, even now, even during dinner time, where my area used to be that from like 10 o'clock, maybe 11 o'clock on all the way through until like 8 or 9 o'clock at night. It was always red. Like I never had a schedule. Now, even at like 5 o'clock at night, 6 o'clock at night, my area is gray. And then when you get kicked off, you just can't. You can't get back on. It is super frustrating. So, yeah. Josh, are you really trying to egg Gary on right now? Oh, thank you so much. Say it like it is. I really appreciate it. Okay, so Gary definitely is going to get back at you, Josh. Watch out, Josh, watch out for that pizza. Yes, thank you. Yes, kindness is always free. And I live by it every single day. So this week, I also, so you ever get to getting the, you go to deliver and you go to somewhere and you're like, oh, this is why I love what I do. So this past week, I go to a dress that I've never been to before, and I feel like I've been to like every crevice of my area. And I went to somewhere that I've never been to before, and it was, I thought, I'm like, and she was never heard from again, but it was a dirt road and it was windy, and I'm like, my car is gonna get like dinged and dented going on this road, but it was absolutely beautiful. And then it had me turn down this like windy road, and um it opens up to this gigantic horse farm, and it was just absolutely breathtaking. The hill, like they were hilly and it overlooked land, and man, it was just absolutely beautiful. And there's days like that like I'm like, wow, I really love what I do, because when would you ever have the opportunity to go and see some of the stuff that we do on a daily basis? Hey Lady D, I didn't even see you pop in here. How are you, my friend? I avoid getting kicked off a DoorDash sign up for one and have to, yeah, that's exactly what I do. Now you do those really late shifts. I envy you for doing those really late shifts, but yeah, uh, just just annoying. But yes, I do see, like, that's like, I feel like my key to getting back on DoorDash. Ever since like that happened to me once, I'm like, oh, DoorDash is never doing that to me again. And I know it's a pain in the butt when you're trying to schedule and you do it in like hour, 2 hour increments, but it really works in the long run. Getting back onto DoorDash when you're that frustrated. Yeah. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. Benji, I'm just reading this. So you you taken you were supposed to take a closed road, would have been in a huge extra distance to go on. So you walked 3 miles. You walked 3 miles for. Please tell me, was that for a delivery or your own like personal? I mean, I walked like half. Well, during the summer, our short area gets really crowded, and sometimes I don't have any choice then to walk. And I think the most I've ever walked maybe is a quarter of a mile from like downtown to somewhere I needed to do, because once you get a parking spot, you don't want to give it up. So yes, they did, but they do have a shop and pay incentive in my area. I have definitely taken advantage of that this past month. But my problem is, um, my problem with that, DoorDash doesn't always give me 7 shop and delivers in a week. So sometimes it's hard to achieve that every single week. It just depends if Walmart, whether DoorDash is going to actually give me enough shop and pays to actually achieve that incentive every single week. So, Josh, I had a Carlos Bakery actually in my downtown area. So I've been there already before, unless it's different in Philly. But I actually had one, and then it actually closed down a couple of years ago, and then it got replaced with a donut shop in my area. So, oh, 0.3 miles. I thought you said you were like walked like 3 miles. I'm like, oh my goodness, that is I'm like, what does that take you, like an hour to get to someone's house? uh, Silly me. Oh, I'm sorry, Benj. I'm sorry. Okay, so anyway, it was just the long story made short. So when you guys, so this is not that it's an excuse. It's not. So when I do my lives, I always wear glasses and I take them off because the ring light actually shows my glasses, and I've tried every lighting and everything like reflects in my glasses. So I take them off. So half of the time I'm like, wait, what does it say? I'm just blind. When I do a lot of these lives. So forgive me if I get things wrong, because usually when I'm reading stuff on the screen, I'm like, wait, what does that say? So sorry. So anyway, the horse farm was like the highlight of my day last week. I know it's not exciting, but I always say that, I always say it's really fun when you try new experiences, that every time you think you've learned your area and then like you do something like that, you're like, wow, I never even knew that even existed. Oh, that's right, Lady D. I forgot you were actually down by Daytona. That's actually awesome. Spring break must be awesome for you. And I know you do rideshare, so I would assume that rideshare would be booming down there during spring break. Is that true? I would think so. But assumptions. So Thomas, you did Top Dasher 5 times last year. Yeah. So like I said, I only did three months. October, no, September, October, and November. I did it 3 months. So, like I said, I've seen, I've seen the potential. I've seen it make some really good money for me. I feel like the downside of Top Dasher, and I'm pretty sure we can all agree, is the climb. Going back up to Top Dasher at the end of the month, it's not fun. I wish there was a way that they could do Top Dasher with, I know it's asking for a lot, but that's like really like the thing that kills me with Top Dasher is literally the last week. I can imagine. So the only thing with rideshare is the beach rides. It takes too long and the money's not good. So if you do downtown areas outside, then you're great. But I can imagine that, because not that believe me, I'm not comparing myself to Daytona at all. But for me, a lot of people in my area flock to the short areas, and I am the first person to deliver away from the short areas. So not only is parking like impossible to do, like you have to find parking and then you have to figure out the place, and then usually the places around the shore are just, they're just so jam packed before you can even get to a counter to ask somebody for your food. There was one time I was already down the shore last summer and I was there and I'm like, there was an order. And I'm like, do I even attempt this? And I'm like, I'll cancel it if it's really bad. And so I go to do the order. Luckily, I found parking reasonably, and I walk there. There was a line going out of the place. The place was like jam packed. You couldn't even get in to get the order. And I'm like, oh no, no, no. And I literally canceled the order and walked right back out. It was crazy. It felt like going clubbing back in the days, and like a jam-packed wall of people like dancing around, minus the dancing. There was just walls and walls of people in place. I'm like, no, never again. So I usually tend during the summer to go far, far and deliver far, far away from the beach as humanly possible. Um, and the last thing I had on my list tonight is, I know we were talking about Starbucks for the past couple of weeks. I've been getting a lot of Starbucks orders a lot this week, like more than, like they were starting to trickle in last week, and then they were really coming in big for me this week. So have you guys seen good Starbucks order? Are they worth your time? And have you been taking them, or are they just like, yeah, no, they're horrible in my area? I'm just curious because it was, yeah, I'm curious before I give you guys my opinion on them and whether you're actually seeing them. Yeah, so I'm kind of with Josh on this one. Uber Eats, Starbucks orders, in my opinion, are 10 times better than DoorDash orders. I feel like the pay is so much better. The only thing I will say that DoorDash has been doing, at least in my two Starbucks that I have, better than, well, DoorDash has been doing better than Uber Eats, is DoorDash, for some reason, they get out their orders quicker. I'm never waiting for a DoorDash order, but Uber Eats, I can go in and I can say, hey, I'm here for an Uber Eats order. And they're like, oh, yeah, okay, we'll get right on it. And like, it's like a while before they get right on it. So I feel like their timing has been better, in my opinion, but the pay, not so much. I've only done a couple that actually have been worth it over like the past like week or so, but they are coming in like fast and furious, especially in the mornings. It's crazy how many that I've been getting this past week. So Josh, you never wait for Uber Eats Starbucks. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's my Starbucks, but there are some days I can grab and it's ready and I'm out the door. And then like there are other days that I'm like, oh my God, can you just give me my order, please? And I don't blame them. I don't blame them. What they try to take their customers that are in front of them, but man, I want my order and I want to get out, but there's a lot. Hey, Tony, what's going on? How are you? So it's definitely interesting to compare the two together side by side once they actually did start coming in. Oh, I wish it was always ready, Josh. Oh, I'm a little jealous. Not so much. Not so much in my area. I don't know. But anyway, that was that. So Sarah Sue, you love Starbucks orders. Great pay, lower miles. You know, I don't know so much about the pay. I've gotten some really bad Starbucks offers, I should say, this week. But I will agree with you, though, that they are lower miles. The ones that I've been seeing are like 2 miles, 3 miles. I think the most I've seen is like 4 miles, but that also might depend on how many Starbucks are actually in your area. But I will agree with you on the miles thing. So, Thomas, you agree that Uber Eats is better for me than Uber Eats Starbucks is better than DoorDash. Yeah. In my opinion, I just think that Uber Eats suggests a better tip up front for smaller order amounts versus DoorDash. So I feel like that's a good reason why we see a lot better paying orders on Uber Eats than DoorDash. But yeah, so I guess keep me posted on how DoorDash is actually doing in your own areas as we kind of go along. And then the last thing I have on my list, so I know, don't believe a lot of what you read on the internet, but I had to share this with you. And once again, I don't know if this is fact or fiction. If it is fiction, then this person made up one elaborate story, but I was on a Facebook group for Spark. And that's usually a lot of how I get like some inside information and kind of what's going on. I do that for DoorDash and Uber Eats and every app that I drive. So if you want some information, take it with a grain of salt. But sometimes Facebook groups are good to, really figure out what's going on in the gig world. So there was this lady who shared a story that she did a shop and deliver on Spark. And she goes through, scans the register, is bagging, talking to the associates the whole time, and there was no greeter at the door, and proceeds to walk out the door, loads everything up in her car, decides tries to pull away and is a couple of blocks from Walmart, and she sees a cop car behind her with lights on and is pulling her over. And she's thinking, what did I do wrong? To find out, they pulled her over because they were accusing her of stealing the groceries that were in her car from Spark. And the cop wanted to bring her back to the store so they could find out what items she stole from the Walmart. So she had to show her Spark app and that it was in order, and then she had to go all the way back to the store, and she was livid, first of all, that the cops got involved, livid that she actually had a Spark order, she did everything right, and then it was she said it was so embarrassing. So can you imagine doing a Spark order, you're minding your own business, the manager, the LP manager of the Walmart apologized profusely, and they were obviously wrong about the whole entire situation. But when I was reading that, my whole entire thing is if you were, and Tony, you're here, you used to work at Walmart, wouldn't they be following you around on camera, scanning items on your phone and putting it on in your cart? And can't they zoom in to see what you're doing on your phone before you walk out the door? I don't know. I thought two things. I'm like, man, that's a crazy story. But at the same time, I'm thinking, is this really true? Because I can't imagine someone making that big a mistake as I'm shopping for an order for Spark. Hey, Cheyenne, how are you? Welcome. So Thomas, you saw that too. So you're verifying my story. Did you think that the story was true? I didn't know whether to think it was true or not, but I guess I always, when I read stories like that, I try to put myself in the shoes of the person kind of going through it. If a they totally don't follow the rules. Okay, I guess I'm going back to my retail years, that I'm thinking there was a good stops and bad stops. If in order to stop somebody, you had to have concrete videotape proof before you even stop somebody, and you couldn't even stop somebody until they walked out the door. There were very strict rules. And I just kept thinking, and I'm like, I used to be with my AP people on cameras where you can zoom in. I'm like, how are they not zooming in on this person's phone? Understanding what the person is doing before they even walked out. I don't know. It's just crazy. To me, it was just a very crazy story. I'm like, if that's true, I would not be a happy camper. That's the only thing I can say. Especially if I knew I was doing everything in my power that was right. I don't know. Just saying. So anyway, those were my topics for tonight. Unless you guys have any quick questions or comments that you guys have for me, I really appreciate you guys actually being here with me on Tuesdays. I always have fun. As always, there are 18 people here right now, so don't forget to hit that thumbs up button for this live before you leave. Actually, do it right now. And that way we can get those 18 thumbs up in for this live. And guys, if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and make sure that the bell is turned on. If you are driving, please stay safe and healthy. Remember, kindness is always free. I love you guys, and I'll see you next Tuesday. Bye, everyone. Peace out.